Alright, this is a 14mm metal wristband designed for watches that have 14mm lugs, such as this one. I was sent this to review for free. If you wanted to purchase one, it would cost you about $16. They haven't paid me for this review, and my opinion remains my own. So they include this tool here, which I believe is to remove pins so you can make this guy shorter or longer. There's a couple of little arrows pointing in different directions here. They have some of these little easy spring clip things that make taking the watch bands on and off easy. So I'll take the existing watch band off. And this bracelet has one of these kind of metal fold-over butterfly clasps, and so you have to set it to the size of your wrist. And it is for smaller wrists. I think 8.1 inches or 8.2 inches was the largest. So I may have this guy just fit me automatically, or I may have to remove one link. Now there does appear to be a plastic wrapper around the bracelet here, and so I'm pulling that off. It doesn't look like it's adhered with adhesive. I think it's more like a static cling type wrapper. Let's see if I can get it to separate. There we go. So that came off relatively easily, and I have to do the same thing to the other side. Alright, they give you one extra spring clip in case you lose one, so that's classy of them. And these guys go in. There's a little slot that accommodates that thing that sticks up that lets you spring clip it. So we are going to try putting this on and see how it fits. I may have to change out one or two links. And that's why they give you an extra one, because if you do it wrong, it can spring out. So you have to move this around until you have it click into the hole. And once it clicks in, then it's pretty solid. Now we do the other side. And because this watch band is a single piece, it does not separate into two halves. So you kind of have to do this with the top of the watch band hanging over you. Okay, so we have the band on the watch. The only question is, how's the sizing? Alright, so it is loose on me, so I will have to take out a link or maybe two links. So you can see I have pretty large wrists for this size watch, so you may have to take out more links than I am. Alright, so in my opinion, there is a correct way to have this guy hinge, and that is to have the part of the watch that faces your body have this pin on it so that you pull this guy and snap it like that. That's my opinion. You could reverse it, it still works, but my opinion is that's the way you should mount it to your watch. Alright, so they have pins here, those 1, 2, 3, 4, and these 1, 2, 3, 4, that you can push out using this tool. And they basically say, I'm going to actually unhook this to make this a little easier on myself. So they say to unhook it, you line this guy up and you push it in the direction of the arrow. And so we're basically using the screw here to push the pin out. And I'm making sure that the pin lines up with this opening over on this side. And then I start forcing it out, and it came out pretty easily there. And once it's snapped out, it looks like I will be able to just remove it. So I can just take that out completely. And when I do that, this guy will separate. And so then, since I'm shortening it, I need to take out another one. And we're going to do just a single link for now. And if that doesn't work, I'll take another link out of the other side. But I was pretty close. So I think one link may be enough. We'll find out when I try it out. So we're going to force this pin out. Pull that pin out. And that link comes out, so that's the amount you can adjust, positive or negative. And then we can put this guy in there. Now, putting it in is the opposite of removing it. So it looks like to put this back in, you put this little guy in the hole, and it stops right there. So we need to turn this around and push it in with this tool. So I'm having a hard time pushing this pin in using that guy. I am going to try to push it in just using the piece of metal here. So I'm just going to push this against that piece of metal. Alright, that seemed to work pretty well there. So this is now one link shorter. So I need to put it on and try it out, and if it's still not short enough, I'll take a link out of the other side. Alright, so that's a little bit loose, but it's not super loose, so it can potentially roll around, but I'm not certain I want to take another link out. Adding or removing one link is your smallest amount of adjustability here, and so you basically are changing about 9 millimeters or a third of an inch. So I've found that I think 2 links out is just a little bit tighter than I generally would like. It doesn't roll around my wrist. It pinches in just a slightly bit more than I would like. Now, with only one link out, it was a little looser. And so you might find yourself having to decide, do I want it just slightly too tight or just slightly too loose? Because, you know, this 8 millimeter difference is kind of a big difference. All right, so stainless steel looks very nice, kind of a matte finish. The removal of a link is not super easy, but it's not difficult. They give you all the tools you need. It looks like they give you multiple extra pieces here that might screw into that thing there. I haven't had to use any of these, but you know, potentially if you bent one of those, you could grab it with a pair of pliers and put a new thing in. You definitely do need this tool to push that pin out easily. So pretty complete set for the money.